This is a continuation of the next 5 beliefs that I wanted to share with you out of the 10. If you haven't seen the first video where I talked about the first 5, check it out over here. So the next belief, which in this case is number 6, it has to do with self-trust. Turns out that we betray ourselves a lot and we don't do what we say we're going to do. And all of that is related to self-trust. Most problems we have in this lifetime, most issues and things that happen to us, that dares us, most things that stops us because of fear have to do with our inability to trust ourselves, our inability to back ourselves up, our inability to love ourselves and connect with ourselves. However, that ability of trusting ourselves is directly proportional to how we understand and how much we are connected to our Creator, whatever that means to you, whatever that religion, whatever religion you are part of. Turns out that if I understand that the love intelligence that is governing this universe, right, that is part of all creation, you know, what makes the planets go round in their perfect eggs, what makes an embryo become a baby, what makes a seed become a beautiful tree, that intelligence is also part of us. It is intrinsically in us at a cellular level, in a micro and a macro way. And so when we understand that we are part of the divine order of everything and that everything is exactly where it needs to be, then we're able to trust that power in us because we know we are part of a bigger thing. And that's where self-trust comes from. That's how we strengthen and work with our ability to show up for ourselves, because we recognize the Creator within us. Yeah? Now, number 7. Number 7 is about understanding that we must, if we want to feel good and we want to feel alive and we want to feel light and we want to have a good life, we must reprogram our limiting beliefs all the time. It's like brushing our teeth. It's like weed that grows on our garden if we're not taking care of our garden, right? Limiting beliefs are programmed in our brain as a child, and they are part of the way that we were raised. Not to fault our parents, but they're also information in our DNA that comes from our ancestors, our grandparents, and beyond. So whatever our ancestors weren't able to process, especially emotionally speaking, then it's up to us to process. And in most of our lives, whether it is in our career or whether it is through our relationships, what's going to show up is always opportunities for us to process those exact same things that our ancestors weren't able to process. So that which we're always judging in them, it's always what we are dealing and processing in our lives. And so limiting beliefs are stuck there through those processes, and we need to understand and have the tools to rewire them regularly and often, because they appear like weeds and they regrow again and they regrow again. And it's a never-ending work that it's important we are very patient about, but we're also very important that we take care of it, because we think we're in control, but in reality, it is our subconscious mind that it's making decisions for us in terms of finding our partners, in terms of deciding whether having kids or not, in terms of deciding about the career that we want to have, in terms of deciding every single thing. It's like a filter, like glasses that we have on. And so it's very important that we connect with that subconscious mind and reprogram, rewire those beliefs that are not letting us align with what we want to do. Number 8. This is about manifesting. And so There's not much more I can tell you about manifesting. Everything is out there. But what I want to remind you in this particular belief is like, no matter which way you approach manifestation, meaning understanding that life doesn't happen to you, but you have the ability to happen to life, and that you can create, and that you're always, whether you're conscious or not, creating the projection of the reality that you're seeing in life. One very important thing about this process, whether you are right now doing it consciously or unconsciously, is that the key is always feeling it. Manifestation is something that we can understand in theory, and a lot of times when we do the vision boards and we manifest something, wow, it really happened. But to get the grasp of how is it that I feel it, and how can I make that process deliberately happen to myself all the time? How can I really feel what I want? How can I really feel where I want to go? It's not just enough to say it, it's just not enough to imagine it. But if I'm saying it and I'm imagining it, I need to make sure that those two things are helping me feel it, right? So I would say the key word here is feeling it and figuring out how you can feel it so that you can make that happen to your life. Yes, whatever you focus on expands, but not if you don't feel it. Number 9, and this is particularly for women, but it also happens to men as well. So traditional consistency is not the only way to go about things. You can also be successful even if you're not practicing the same thing every day and you're not going at it every day. Turns out that we can also process life and be successful in a cycling way, because we go through cycles as human beings, and because the universe around us goes through cycles all the time. What does this mean? This means that in order for me to achieve a goal or to walk towards what I want, what needs to stay permanent is that intention that I have, right? Setting that intention and aligning with the quality of what I am producing in my transformation. However, the activity per se that I am doing doesn't have to be the same one every day, and it can happen in cycles. So I can one day do one thing, and then the next day do something different, and then the third day something different, and come back to what I'm doing the first day, maybe in a week or in a month. However I want to reprogram it, or however it is happening in cycles in my life. It's different for everyone. But what stays the same is my intention, right? Every day, oh yes, this is what I want. I am embodying this quality, but today I might be doing it by writing. Tomorrow I might be doing it by talking on a video. The third day I might be doing it with some friends. And so what we are used to is thinking that I have to be consistent in a routinary way, where I have to do the same thing every day. I have to go to the gym and do lifting every day. Otherwise, I'm not going to get my results. And that is not necessarily true. So that is another belief that has helped me so much. I call it cycle syncing. And it changes for everyone. It's different for everyone. But most importantly is opening up ourselves to the idea that we all don't do consistency the same way. And that consistency is not the only and ultimate way to achieve or to get the results that you want. Number 10 is people that trigger you, or situations that trigger you in a way that it makes you feel a lower frequency emotion. What are low frequency emotions? Anything underneath boredom, right? So when you are sad, when you are mad, when you are frustrated, when you are disappointed, when you have jealousy, when you're feeling envy, when you're feeling angry, all of those emotions are there for a reason, and we want to make sure we embrace them because we want to make sure we understand what is the message and the opportunity that they are trying to teach us. But most importantly, the person that happened to trigger that emotion is our master, our teacher, and it's always reflecting back to us what we are already feeling inside us. And that is one of the most important principles. Some people call it the mirror law, but this happens especially with family and friends and people that we spend the most time with and the people that we feel more attracted to. When it's our family, meaning our parents and our children, those are the biggest and most important of our teachers. And then the partners that we attract in life or the friends that we attract in life are also there to be part of the mirror so we can see what we are projecting into life. There's a lot more to that, but the most important thing about that belief is that the moment I remember and I understand that they're here to teach me, and I don't take it personal, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's important that we practice it. That moment we are able to open the door to transcend into the next level of our conscious evolution. I hope you like my 10 beliefs. These are hardcore principles and values of my life. And I hope that you either embody some of them, try some out, or share with me down in the comments which ones are the ones that you feel that you relate the most and that you are also practicing in your life.